This podcast is brought to you by Legend Comics and Coffee in Omaha, Nebraska, and listeners like you. Head to our website, twitednerd.com. Learn how you can support us on Patreon or, just shoot us a PayPal donation. It keeps the show ad-free, and we swear we'll hurt ourselves if you don't.
Once, they were two best friends managing a comic book store. But when an innocent blood oath went wrong, the two found themselves trapped in the same body, imprisoned in a strange pyramid made of long boxes, buried deep below their hometown, where they are doomed to discuss comic books until the end of time. They were once Joe and Matt. Now they are known as the Two-Headed Nerd. And this is their podcast.
Broadcasting from Segala at Omaha in caverns deep below the metro area, it is our pleasure to welcome you to episode 808 of the Two-Headed Nerd Comic Book Podcast. I'm your head number one, and my name is Matt Baum.
And I'm the Internet's Joe Patrick, your head number two. It's time for another new comic show where we will take 8 new comics from the past, 2 new comic book days to the next level. Then we'll hit you with some shorter reviews of other stuff we read in our Ludicrous Speed Reads. After that, we'll set you up with our must-read new comic picks for next week.
In this episode, those of you who are sick of us reviewing DC KO books can rejoice because this time it's all new DC Next Level Jumping On comics. So if you don't read DC, that's all I have to say to you. Dick Grayson is on double duty with the New Titans and a mystery on the Bloodhaven Superhighway in Nightwing. Katie Kane, or Kate Kane as she likes to be called, returns in the pages of Greg Rucka and Dani's Batwoman. By the way, Dani spells her name capital D, little a, capital N, little I. I did not know that. So, Fantastic Four writer Ryan North has got Wally West saving Central City residents on social media, and Deathstroke is back and aging like a fine wine in a new series by Stray Dogs and Feral writer Tony Fleecs. Plus, we check in with Lobo, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, and even a couple books that aren't DC. You gotta do that too every once in a while. So, gas might be $5 a gallon, nerds, but comics, they're still about $3.99. So grab your pile and some savings, park your car, it's review time in the Ziggurat. Just don't park in like a public park or something, you'll look like a pervert sitting there,
Yeah, it's true. Before we anger any more non-DC reading listeners, let's explain our rating system. Each comic we review is rated using our 3-point scale: buy it, skim it, or leave it. All ratings are, of course, subjective. They are never a personal indictment of the creators and are subject to change if one of us yells at the other loud enough. Let us know what you think of our opinions over at our Discord. Just don't expect us to back your illegal war in Iran if you don't agree with our takes.
Yeah, you know who we're talking to. You know who
you know. Macho! Fetch our comic pile and make sure we're too old to get drafted.
Not going to be a problem. I've got webbed feet.
If you are new to this show, I assure you they review more than just DC Comics. This latest DC Next Level initiative just has them excited. Here are your review comics for the week of Wednesday, the 18th of March.
We begin our next level adventure with Batwoman, #1 from DC. It's written by Greg Rucka with art by Dani, colors by Matt Hollingsworth, letters by Hassan Otsmani Ilau, cover by Dani and Hollingsworth. 32 pages for $3.99. A bit of the solicit here, and I'm going to read just a little bit of it because from what I gathered, Next Level is supposed to be an excellent jumping on point. We'll talk about that in a second. Batwoman, daughter, sister, soldier, hero! But since she was 10 years old, Kate Kane has lived in the shadow of a prophecy and the machinations of a religion devoted to the end of all things. How do you fight the devil when the devil is real? And how do you win? So new readers, just checking on Kate Kane, are probably not going to know what the hell's going on here. The story opens in a sanatorium pretty much right after Greg Rucka's story of her finally confronting her twin sister, who is evil, also crazy, also brainwashed and working for this cult of Darkseid that wants to bring about the end of all things, right?
Yeah, we're still on this crime Bible shit.
We're still on the crime Bible. Greg Rucka, I'm pretty sure, created the crime Bible in the pages of 52 back in the day. So,
or one of those books. I don't know.
It's his. He gets paid every time we talk about it. So it's not exactly the best next level jumping on point.
I will say this. You don't really need to know a ton of the backstory. I will say they didn't do a ton to set up the whole sister relationship.
Not at all. Now, Rucka puts it all on the page, though. He lays it out in the story.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She's in therapy. She's beat up. And this Katie is beat up. She's skinny. She's got scars on her face. She's bandaged up. She looks terrible. So when we do finally see her in the Batwoman costume, she's an entirely different person. Entirely different. Like, she looks confident and badass and sexy as hell. Long red hair. She's a nightmare.
The red hair is a wig. That much is a fact. Yeah. So there's such a disconnect between the Kate we see in the sanatorium and the Batwoman we see at the end of the issue that I thought maybe they were trying to make us think that one of those people is not real.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's it at all. I think Rucka is telling a story of trauma and dealing with it the wrong way. Like, when Kate is just Kate, she's ruined. She's absolutely ruined by her experiences. But when she puts on the Batwoman costume, she's gone. She vanishes into the costume and becomes this other thing.
Right. But my question is, could she just leave the sanatorium?
Maybe. I mean, she's probably there on her own getting treatment finally, because she realizes I can't just be Batwoman all the time. Sooner or later, I have to be a real person. And I have to admit, my twin sister got fucked up in a cult, and now that cult's coming for me. Dani's art here is incredible. The cover is absolutely wonderful. Her and Hollingsworth they're playing with color. So when we see Kate in therapy, the palette is very bright. She's in this beautiful island off the coast of Greece somewhere. And the Batwoman scenes are dark. The lines are much thinner, a lot more detail, a lot more action. The first spread page of Batwoman fighting Alice is just gorgeous. It works so well. I love the way that Dani draws Kate and Alice's eyes. There's a thing here when we see Kate in therapy and her eyes are very sad and she's damaged. You can't see her eyes when she's in the Batwoman costume, but you can see Alice's. And when they zoom in on Alice's eyes, she is gone. There is nothing there. So when Kate is constantly talking to her, saying her name, trying to make her real, it's just, there's nothing behind there. She is long gone. I'm really happy to have this character back, because I feel like when anybody but Greg Rucka is doing something with Batwoman, your mileage may vary. She's fine. She's around. She does a thing. Sure. But this is really her story, and I'm glad we're getting back to it. Dani's an excellent choice for the art. I'm giving this a buy it, but I don't think it would hurt for you to do a little homework on this character before you read the book.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I thought, first of all, the art, incredible.
Yeah. Awesome.
No notes. I love it.
She's perfect.
Dani is a phenomenal talent.
Perfect choice for this book.
Totally agree. I found the story to be almost confusing. And this isn't because, yeah, I haven't read every Batwoman comic, but even as somebody who's read comics for a really long time, I read this and went, wait a minute, what's happening now? I don't know if that's on the writing or on the art, to be honest. Oh, I also have.
I think it's on purpose. I think it's on purpose.
I have so little interest in the crime Bible. And the cult of crime,
but it's not about the crime Bible. It's more about Kate and her sister. That's the story.
But they talk, but they talk about Kane.
Well, sure.
Which is a date that goes all the way back.
Oh, yeah.
20 years. And I don't care. So my gut is to give this a strong skim it, because I just don't know how invested I am in it. I think that the book is beautiful, and I'm very happy that Greg Rucka has come back to write this character that he obviously loves. He's just not necessarily telling a story that I'm interested in. moving on to a family with either a little less trauma or all the trauma, depending on what day it is. It's New Titans 33 from DC. It's written by Tate Brombal with art by Sammy Basri. Colors by Adriano Lucas. Letters by Tom Napolitano. Cover by Torrin Clark. It's 32 pages for $3.99. And here's your solicit. Who are the New Titans? After helping save the world from yet another world-ending event, the Titans have earned some much-needed rest. Back in Titans Tower, they're glad to be reunited again, but it almost feels too good to be true. Are these Titans who they claim to be? And if they can't trust each other, can they even trust themselves? Dun, dun, dun. Look, the Titans are once again proving that there isn't a situation that isn't improved with a good group hug.
Yeah.
These guys are so in touch with their feelings about one another, it's not even funny.
Or maybe you should stop hugging and pay attention to what's going on.
Maybe,
Storyline here.
We've got some sort of Groundhog Day situation happening here. There's a time loop. It takes up the entire issue. Which wasn't what I was expecting. I thought that there would be something about building the new team or welcoming in the new generation of kids or whatever. There's none of that. We do get lots of fan service here for old school readers, but the quote unquote new part of it barely factors in. It was fun, I thought. Like every time there's a time loop, things are slightly different. And so you'll see like, oh, Cyborg is gold. And if you know what that is, you know what that is a reference to, then that's a treat for you. Or Beast Boy has red fur, which is a New 52 thing. Or Nightwing has a red bird on his crest.
That's what it was. It was
New 52
and so and it was red. Okay.
These things it's very subtle changes to what's happening with the characters. And so obviously there's something weird going on. Starfire sounds just like the Teen Titans Go version of the character, like painfully naive when it comes to Earth culture, which isn't bad, I guess, but Starfire has been around for 40 years, and so it's a little bit weird to go that way now.
Don't you think that's part of what's going on here? Because everyone is a completely boiled down version of who they are.
Yes, and you might be right about that.
Yeah,
yes,
I think that is a direct story thing that they are doing.
No, you might be right,
part
dude,
of the Groundhog.
And absolutely. Yes, I agree. At the last page, we finally get the new team reveal as the time loop is breaking. There is a character there that was wisely left off the cover. All I have to say to his presence is, ugh. No spoilers.
I don't know who that is. I know who. Yeah, I see that. You
well,
named
it's
them,
in my script. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who the actual character is. So
sure. But if you read the Jeff Johns Titans, you'll know who.
Okay.
When you see him. Art-wise, Basri's art is great. He kind of occupies that same spot in my mind as artists like Marcus Toe.
Yeah.
Where it's just like very solid superhero art, but not super flashy.
No.
But also not without its own style, right? Like you can see the slight manga and anime influence here in Sammy's artwork.
Sure.
Adriano Lucas colored the hell out of this thing. The colors are gorgeous. So based on the marketing, I thought we were going to get more of like a first issue team building vibe from New Titans 33. So measure your expectations if that's what you were excited for. That said, the story is executed well enough. The art is fantastic. I wish there was more new in New Titans, but as Matt pointed out, we're doing a thing here and maybe we have to get to that part of the story. For now, I'm giving it a strong skim it just because I was like, whoa, this isn't what I thought it was at all.
Yeah, I really like Tate Brombal, and I've really liked what they've done on Batgirl, and I see Brombal working here. The idea is sound. And the first time I read it, I was like, maybe that shtick went on too long for the book. The second time...
it's the whole issue.
It's the whole issue. But the second time I looked at it today, I can also see Brombal going, okay, Titans fans, here's nods to all the stuff that came before. Here's everything you love about the Titans. Here's the shit we make fun of the Titans for. Here's the stuff that pisses Matt Baum off about the Titans. It's all here, right? Yeah. Now, get ready for the new Titans. And I like that. It's a good formula. It works. It's a nice shtick. I do think it was a little too long in the book, or maybe just a few more hints that something was going on in there.
Yeah, like maybe he needed to start seeing the cracks in it a little quicker.
Quite possibly. I am interested to see where this goes. I'm going to read more. I'm going to give it a strong skim as well. Basri's great. Perfect artist for this. And
100%
I love the characters on this final page. The one I didn't really recognize. I think Connor Kent's costume has got way too much shit going on. It does not need this.
That's John.
Oh, it's John. Sorry. Does not need this many goddamn lines on his costume. Okay.
Look, he's worn worse.
Are we sure that's John? Isn't John getting de-aged?
That's John, and we'll get into it.
Okay. All right. So,
with one of my other books this week.
Strong skim it for me as well. But I like the exercise. I think it's a brave way to start a jumping on point.
Yeah, like if this were a number one, if this were New Titans number one, I'd go, oh, I don't know if this is a good first issue.
I have no problem with this being New Titans number 33, because if this were a number one, that'd be a different story. So if you're reading Titans, you're already on board. This is a new place you can jump on. A lot of family theme going on today. And we're going to...
Yeah, big time.
DC's main family man gets his own series with Deathstroke the Terminator, number 1 from DC. He's got a beautiful little girl, right? Written by Tony Fleecs, art and cover by Carmine DiGiandomenico, colors by Ivan Plascencia, letters by Wes Abbott. It's 28 pages for $3.99. Here's your solicit.
She's not a beautiful little girl, that's Rose, and she's a terrifying assassin.
Here's your solicit. The world's deadliest assassin hits the next level with Tony Fleecs and Carmine DiGiandomenico. Soldier turned superhuman assassin for hire, Slade Wilson has made hundreds of enemies in his day, and now one of them is taking his world apart piece by piece. The hit is out on Deathstroke as he evolves into his purest form, a Terminator, out for revenge and ready to kill anyone who stands in his way. We're finally acknowledging Deathstroke's getting old. He's an old dude, you know?
Sure.
And Fleecs is doing it in a really interesting way. Of course, Deathstroke's never going to admit he's an old guy. That's not what he's going to do. He's Besser is what he does. He's got one eye, whatever. Fuck you, Deadpool. What do you think of that? You know? And Wintergreen, who is like his right-hand man,
his best friend,
sets up his gigs, things like that. He's getting older, and the book opens with him talking to Rose. And Rose, yes, a psychotic hit person as well,
assassin,
has kind of gone back and forth and had gray areas of her own. And Fleecs is going to lean into that a little bit here, which I think is a good thing, because if you're just writing a book about a villain, it can get really old fast, right? The most interesting thing that we love about Doctor Doom or Magneto or even Lex Luthor at times is they're not pure evil. They do things that are evil, but they may think they're doing them for the right reason. Now, Deathstroke kills people for money. Bad guy. But it seems like Fleecs is going to push this in a direction where he's learning, as I get older, I have to connect with someone or something, and I have a daughter. Whether I like it or not, I have to reconnect with my family, right? Because no one else is going to be around, basically. And he's going to regret it someday. The story reads like you'd expect otherwise. He's an unstoppable killing machine, shooting and stabbing his way to his target. But someone who knows him very well has set him up, and it makes for a really good, last 3 pages. The pacing here, so good. It's quick. It's desperate. Wintergreen is having a conversation with Deathstroke while he's on a mission. Talks about how he just talked to Rose. You really need to call Rose. You should give her a call. And he's like, I can't do this right now. I'm trying to kill people. You can tell both of these creators are huge fans, but I think Carmine is in love with Deathstroke. The way that he draws his character and the detail he puts into every panel, every gun, every piece of armor, the smoking explosions, him walking out of the explosions, him murdering people. This book looks incredible. Action scenes are just massive. There's, like I said, a fantastic last page when we finally see Slade showing emotion. He's not just killing. He's not just him in his helmet, cold and calculated. he's mad as hell. He's taken off of his game, and that's where we're going to go with this story and why I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm giving this a huge buy it. And this is a character I really don't care about. But I think Fleecs is a perfect writer to find something in a character like Deathstroke. I'm not saying he's not interesting, but to find that interesting thing and drill down into it. And it's Deathstroke getting knocked off his game by somebody else. This was great. Excellent first issue.
Yeah, I loved it. I think Deathstroke is fine in irregular doses. I think that there used to be a habit of DC overusing him, just like all hot characters were overused in the 80s and 90s.
Sure.
But, you know, we don't see Deathstroke every day anymore. And so I think that there's enough meat on those bones, so to speak, to give him his own series again. And I thought that this was a great setup. I love the fact that this mysterious enemy is bringing Slade down to the rock bottom. And that's a dangerous place for him to be, mostly dangerous for his enemies.
Well, yeah, and I think that's what we're going to learn, of course.
Right.
Like,
and so
when you knock
this
him,
is going to be fun, I think. And the art of like Carmine DiGiandomenico is tremendous. Yeah. Outstanding artist.
Wow. And this goes back to exactly what we were talking about, where DC is taking a character like Deathstroke and putting an artist like DiGiandomenico on the book because they want to put their best foot forward, and Tony Fleecs wanted to work with him, and they were probably both excited. Hooray. Where over at Marvel, we have huge X titles that are being launched that just don't have the same quality of art, you know, and it's...
Right.
It shows. It shows.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I liked that this was a book that anybody could pick up and read. Yeah. Will you get a little bit more out of it if you have intimate knowledge of Deathstroke's past? Yes. Do you need that knowledge? No.
Not at all. You know, he has a daughter.
They hinted at past storylines. Yeah. All you really need to know is that Slade's got a daughter. And Slade's got a best friend that helps him run his business, and those things are in danger.
And it's complicated.
And it's complicated, right? The focus once again swings back to Nightwing with Nightwing 136 from DC, written by Dan Watters, with pencils by Dennis Cowan, inks by Norm Rapmund, colors by Francesco Segala, letters by Wes Abbott, cover by Jorge Fornes. Holy smokes, that cover.
That cover's great.
Wowie, zowie, is it good. It is 32 pages for $4.99. Here's your solicit. A new era begins here for Bloodhaven and its hero. The city's new superhighway was meant to be its lifeline, but has instead become a hotbed of strange and violent incidents. Nightwing's investigation into this haunted road drives him toward a tragedy from which he may never recover, and sends him looking for answers in Bloodhaven's tragic past. So I've been looking for a good place to jump on to Dan Watters' Nightwing, and this is it. This is totally new reader friendly. Literally, all you need to know is, who is Nightwing? You're good. He lives in a town called Bloodhaven. That's it. I love that this is this take on weird Bloodhaven folklore. So we've got this fancy new superhighway cutting through the area. It has disturbed something old and bad. Supernatural? Yeah, seems that way.
The superhighway is fucking ridiculous, too.
It's big, yeah. So, you know, we might be dealing with witches or victims of human trafficking or something or other, but there's definitely a lot of dead bodies under that concrete.
Definitely witches. 100% witches.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's...
Say the word witch.
I know that they say the word witch, but he doesn't really know anything. Watters' dialogue is perfect for Nightwing. Dick encounters or experiences something here that is going to haunt him for a very long time. A huge traumatic event happens that he is involved with, and, you know, not everybody walks away. So let's talk about the art. Just to get it out of the way, the art is very good. However, I don't know what could have possessed the editors to pair Dennis Cowan and Norm Rapmund.
Yeah, it's a weird choice.
Rapmund is a serviceable inker, but his style is slick, and he's known for a certain sort of look. His own style overshadows Cowan's, when Cowan should be the main draw. You hire Denny Cowan because you want that book to look like Denny Cowan drew it.
Right. And that's like, I didn't even, until I went back and looked, I was like, oh shit, this was Denny Cowan? I didn't know.
Like, there are many panels in this comic book, especially faces, that look like Dan Jurgens drew them, which makes sense because Norm Rapmund has been inking Jurgens for 20 years.
And we're going to talk about him inking Dan Jurgens in a little bit here.
Yeah.
So.
And so it's like, well, how do you take an artist as stylized as Dennis Cowan and make some of those panels look like Dan Jurgens drew them? It's bizarre. I loved Francesco Segala's colors here. It's atmospheric and moody. It fits the story well. The colors look like they were painted onto canvas, and I'm a sucker for that trick.
Yeah, it's a really good effect. I like it.
Yeah. So, weird art team choices aside, this is an excellent issue of Nightwing. It's a perfect jumping on point for readers that are curious about the character because of this big marketing push. I'm giving this a buy it. I liked it a lot. It's just that the art it's a weird choice.
I'm going to say it's kind of a weird jumping on point if you've never read Nightwing, because this is not your typical Nightwing story. And Waters, if you've been reading his Nightwing, he's been doing a lot of taking Dick out of his comfort zone and putting him into strange places that he's not necessarily the best, and making him deal with things. And I think this very much sticks with that theme. That is not to say you're going to be totally lost or you won't know what's going on, but this is not your typical Nightwing. I think he's going to be telling a different type of story here, and that's fine. It's really well written. The art is very good. I agree. The inking choice is bizarre. I'm not just going to blame Norm Rapmund 100%, though. I think the two together work sometimes. Some panels are amazing. This big car wreck scene, amazing. Other panels, faces, movement is a little weird. I don't know. But I do like it. And I really liked Waters' Nightwing. This didn't feel to me like the beginning of one of these next level pushes of a jumping. It feels like a new story. Sure, I'll give you that. But it doesn't feel like a new jumping on point for Nightwing. Everything else is kind of...
what do you need from a jumping on point other than a story you can get into without knowing a bunch?
Literally all the other books we're talking about are a restart point for these characters, or new characters are being introduced. That's not really what we're doing here. It's not like he's been gone from Bloodhaven forever or anything like that. It's just the start of a new Nightwing story, and that's fine. I'm giving it a buy it. I like this. But it's not the same as these other next level directives, which to me are tell you who the character is, reset the character, let you know there's a new status quo. That's just not really going on here.
And I think that perhaps that directive, as you say, might be something that we are assuming is in place. We know that they're launching new stories, but I don't know that it's necessarily going to be like, give this person to Nightwing if they've never read Nightwing ever.
Well, I mean, sure.
I don't know.
But every other book we are covering in Next Level,
except they're not Batwoman wasn't.
Batwoman, I agree. I'll give you that. Batwoman, I agree. That's the one exception here.
Green Lantern certainly isn't.
Green Lantern absolutely is, and we're going to talk about it next. There's no question. Did you read Green Lantern?
Yeah, I read it.
They're swapping Kyle and Hal's jobs.
I read it, man.
This is a huge status quo change.
Kyle Rayner, I have to agree, Sir Joe. Kyle Rayner coming home is huge for Sir Matt. I suggest we give him this one. Here are your review comics for the week of Wednesday, the 25th of March.
Thank you, Macho. I don't know what Joe's talking about either, because Green Lantern 33, your Legacy 600, is a huge status quo change for Green Lantern. This is from DC. It's written by Jeremy Adams, Ron Mars, with art and main cover by Hermanico. The rest of the art is by V. Ken Marion, Dan Jurgens, with inks by Norm Rapmund. We just talked about that. Daryl Banks is here. Colors by Romulo Fiardo Jr., Veronica Gandini, Adriano Lucas, and Chris Sotomayor. Letters by Dave Sharp. 4 stories here. 56 pages, $5.99. It is your Green Lantern issue 600. So yay. So what's changing? Kyle Rayner leads the next chapter of the Green Lantern mythos, starting here. In this special oversized 600th issue, Hal Jordan will be tested as never before, sort of. And a new Lantern stands poised to step in should he fail. Hal embarks on a mysterious mission while Kyle Rayner finally moves back to LA and again takes up the mantle of Green Lantern of Earth. Join Kyle as he finds a job, gets stuck in traffic, and chases down escaped villains from OA. All this plus, legendary artists and whatnot. It almost feels like, why can't we just return to the Green Lantern numbering? If we did it for Action and Batman, Detective, why can't we just do it for Green Lantern and go 600? Yay, let's go. I don't get it. But I was thrilled to hear that we're bringing Kyle back to Earth and he's just going to be a Green Lantern. I don't need any more of this White Lantern shit. I don't need any more of this Kyle's the chosen one bullshit. Just give me Kyle as Green Lantern. And Jeremy Adams immediately resets that by starting the story with Kyle stuck in traffic with Odyssey, the what's her name? Time
Bandit.
Time Bandit? Is that her name? And she hates it. And he's like, well, this is sort of like traveling time. It just takes a really long time to get anywhere, but not because it's far away, which is fun. We also get an origin of Kyle Rayner for those of you who don't know it. And I got to say, they added some stuff here in the background, but it's the same as I remember. He's a failing comic artist. He meets a desperate Ganthet in the alley looking to help after Hal went full parallax. And Ganthet's just like, guess you'll have to do, and gives the ring to him. So,
I was disappointed that he wasn't wearing his hand-drawn 9 Inch Nails t-shirt.
I feel like there's rights to that shit now. And so, they dodged that.
Yeah.
But Ron Mars's origin still holds true. In fact, most of this book and all the Kyle stuff is an open
I'm actually
love
not
letter to
even
Ron
100%
Mars.
sure anything changed at all.
I don't think so. The third story picks up where the LA story left off. Kyle's trying to get a job at a movie studio, just laid off its creative staff for AI. Of course, it turns out the AI gets infected by a bug, but not just any computer bug. This one is literally a bug, a space bug that used to be in an Owen science cell. I'm not sure what bug it is.
An escaped convict.
Right.
An escaped convict from OA, yeah.
Fourth story ties into the Green Lantern Corps stuff. We're going to find out what's going on with Hal being in 2 places at once, which is kind of interesting. And we get a little Hal Jordan origin as well. Our fifth story, though, Ron Mars returns to write while Daryl Banks draws Kyle in the past as a rookie Green Lantern. We're seeing him still very capable back when he was the torchbearer after he had restarted the Green Lantern Corps and stuff like that.
So he wasn't a rookie anymore at all.
He was still new-ish. The Green Lantern Corps had literally just been reformed, and they were like, oh, you're the guy that just reformed the Green Lantern Corps. Thank you. They were very happy about it.
I suppose, yeah.
But it's a lot of fun because this is the first book we get to see Kyle Rayner's new redesign that David Nakayama did, and I think it is time. The 90s weird crab mask had its time.
The crab mask can go. I don't like that you can see his eyes through those huge square slits.
Doesn't bother me. But there's no we can't see Hal's
Green
eyes.
Lantern
Usually.
Domino mask has opaque eyes.
It's true. It's true. Or green eyes or whatever. I don't care. Yeah. But it was nice to see Banks drawing the old costume and Kyle, and it gave me all these 90s feelings. In fact, like, all the art in this goes from very modern, very slick. Harmonico is incredible. V. Ken Marion is very detailed. But then the back end of the book is very 90s inspired because it's this sort of where we came from, why we love this character so much. This was just great. And Jeremy Adams has been doing such a wonderful job on Green Lantern, balancing it too. For fans like me that love Kyle, for fans that love Hal. I love Hal too, don't get me wrong, but I fell in love with Kyle, and that's how I started reading Green Lantern comics.
Right.
So I am just thrilled that he's back and they're giving him a shot. Hal's still going to have a very important, very big story. I forgot to mention, Dan Jurgens writes the Hal story, and it looks fantastic. Jurgens and Rapmund together? Yes, that makes sense. Do them. We don't need them tag teaming with Denny Cowan. Come on, stop it. I'm giving this a buy it, though. It's a great 600th issue. I'm excited about what they're going. It's a great status quo change. Hal's going to be in space. Kyle's going to be here back on Earth. I'm in.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and I don't want to get too caught up in I think we're getting a little too caught up in the semantics of what next level is supposed to be. Sometimes a start of a story that is welcoming to new readers can be successful, even if there isn't a huge status quo change.
Sure.
This, however, did have a pretty big change, like a change in the star of the book. Which, you know, is kind of unheard of in a lot of cases. You don't see it very often. And this is excellent. I loved seeing Ron Mars come back. Daryl Banks, man. I have loved that guy.
Got it.
I have loved him for over half my life. And to see him come back and draw Kyle in the classic costume is so good. Yeah, this is a buy it. And for the amount of content you get, $6, that's a great price for this comic. My next comic is Detective Comics number 1107 from DC. It's written by Tom Taylor with art and colors by Pete Woods. That guy was just like, see you later, Titans. What's up, Batman? And he switched over without missing a beat. Letters are by Wes Abbott. The gorgeous cover by Michael Janin.
Yeah.
32 pages for $4.99. Here's your solicit. And I'm reading the whole solicit because it is germane to my review. The Dark Knight detective is hot on the trail of an abducted teenager with a mysterious past, but he has found himself at a dead end. In a rare moment of desperation, Batman teams up with Black Canary and Gotham City's newest resident, Green Arrow, to investigate a case with unexpected and terrifying implications for Bruce, Dinah, and Oliver's shared history. Will this trio be enough to rescue this girl and unravel the mystery of her past? Find out in this thrilling new storyline. First of all, I love it when new heroes move into Gotham City.
I gotta ask, because the only thing that seems dumber than trying to commit a crime in Gotham City is coming to fight crime in Gotham City, because there's somebody already doing it there.
It makes Batman so mad, I love it.
When you're the best in the world, when you're as good, if maybe not better than Superman at fighting crime, yeah, you should be pissed if somebody shows up.
Why does Keystone City or Central City have more than one crime fighter when the one they have is the fucking Flash? You know, like, I get it. Like, they don't need more. And also, Batman has an army of child soldiers.
An entire family, yes.
And so it's just like, okay, Green Arrow, sure, come on in. But I love it when they do this shit because it makes Batman mad, and I think it's hilarious every time.
Sure.
So the story has nothing at all to do with what the solicit is saying, at least not yet. Right now, we're dealing with corporate whistleblowers that are dropping dead suspiciously of quote-unquote natural causes. More than one in a short period of time, which obviously is very improbable. Batman is undercover investigating when Ollie bungles his way in. There's a great scene where Batman tries to step to Ollie wearing a hobo outfit. And then there's a big joke about the Arrow car and how the Arrow car is very shitty and it looks just like it did in the Silver Age, which is just a delight to see because they pull up next to the Jorge Jimenez, the brand new Batmobile that hums and glows.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
The woke ass Batmobile. Let's just call it what it is. Come on.
Yeah, right. The woke ass the DEI Batmobile.
Some of us want to pay $7 a gallon for gas because it's American.
Exactly. There's a lovely scene with the entire Bat family paying tribute to a Wildcat. R.I.P. Wildcat died in the pages of JSA a few months ago.
Not just the Bat family, like the entire Green Arrow family's here too.
Well, the Bat family, Connor Hawk, Black Canary, Ollie, yeah. And Black Canary has inherited Wildcat's gym. And so there's this great moment of almost like sibling connection, right? Because they were both trained by Wildcat. So just like top-notch character work here from Tom Taylor. All that shit about the missing girl barely gets its start at the end of the issue, and I'm not even sure that that's the missing girl in question. The more interesting part of the story is this reveal of an unknown time in Bruce, Dinah, and Ollie's shared past, and I don't want to spoil it, but it implies this whole other side of things that we've never heard about until now, and I think that's very cool.
Okay.
Art-wise, Pete Woods crushes it as usual. That guy is so good at his job. There's a 2-page spread of Bruce and Dinah sparring as Cassandra Cain is judging the fight because she's the only one that can, because she can read body language.
Well, yeah, because they said a thing and I didn't get it. They're like, all right, first one to knock out, no hits.
Nobody else is qualified to say who can win this fight, but Cassandra can read the move.
No, that's not why. That's not.
Yeah,
why.
no, that's exactly why.
But they say, well, then you're missing something and not informing them. But they say no hits. We're not allowed to hit each other.
Oh, well, yeah, they're shadow boxing.
That's why they pick Cassandra, because Cassandra could see what was going to land. And when they say it, I was like, what does that even mean? And then as Pete Woods.
Sorry. Yeah. And then they're not actually punching each other.
Pete Woods draws it with Cassandra in the center, and they are fighting. And you can see they're pulling their punches, but Cassandra can see where the punch would actually hit.
What it would be. Yeah.
And it's just a masterful page. Masterful. Yeah,
it's gorgeous. There are a couple of instances here and there where characters just kind of look like they're floating, disconnected in space. That happens sometimes when you're doing everything digitally and you're kind of inserting characters on the fly. It happens. But this book looks great. Tom Taylor's run on Detective Comics continues to be excellent. There's a new compelling mystery here. I'm very intrigued about this secret past. The addition of Pete Woods plus Green Arrow and Black Canary make this a must read. This is a buy it.
I agree with all the character stuff you said here and everything you said about Pete Woods. The only thing I don't agree with is I don't feel like this mystery is earned, because who the fuck is this person? Like, you can't just be like, oh, it's a secret and we'll have to uncover the mystery of the secret that you don't know about. Like, how?
Well, that's just it. It's introducing the fact that there's a mystery.
If you want to introduce that there's a mysterious past that we don't know, fine. But when we get to a point where it's like, oh, this person is dead and you've never heard of them. Okay. Like, it just didn't feel like it earned that mystery for me. And I think there's enough cachet with these characters to do whatever you want with them. So I trust Tom Taylor, and I think he's going to do something cool.
It's the start of the mystery.
I just got to the end, and being trained as a DC Comics fan, when I finally see, or they say the name, or they show the gravestone, I'm supposed to be like, oh, what? And instead I was like, who? And I went and looked and like, oh yeah, you don't know that character. They're not a new character. So it just didn't quite land as a very intriguing mystery yet. Maybe there will be something there. I think the book is very good. I think Tom Taylor's very good. Pete Woods is doing a different thing here than he did on Titans. And he's so talented that you may not realize it at first, but he's definitely drawing these characters differently. He shifted his art to tell a Batman story, and it looks great. I really like it. I just don't feel like the mystery landed for me. So I'm going to give it I'll give it a buy it because I trust these guys and it looks good.
Yeah. I think you're looking at it the wrong way, but all right.
I just didn't get it. I was like, should I know about this?
I think the hook is that, what do you mean there's this whole secret chapter of their lives we've never seen before? That's the mystery.
I suppose, but that's not really an earned mystery, is it? You know, that's more like I'm inventing.
What do you mean? It's the beginning. It wasn't the resolution.
I'm inventing a mystery.
Oh my God.
The reign of the Superboys begins in Superman 36. This is your legacy 879th issue. But I guess they're not Superman either.
Milestone issue.
It's from DC. It's written by Joshua Williamson with art and main cover by Dan Mora, colors by Alejandro Sanchez, and letters by Ariana Maher. It's 40 pages for $3.99. Here's your solicit. The reign of the Superboys begins! After the shocking events of DC KO, Superman is missing. I guess. But one hero steps up to take his place.
He's gone.
He's not around. I think it should say Superman is not around.
Superman has gone down to the corner store for smokes.
I don't know. One hero steps up to take his place. Superboy Prime. Normally, Prime has only been part of the massive DC events, but now he gets a real shot at showing the world he can be just as great a hero as Superman. There is an excellent intro here that instantly won me over because, like, I don't really care about Superboy Prime. I don't have a lot of history with the character and whatnot. I think it's clever what they've done with him. If you don't know, Superboy Prime is a very fourth wall breaking character that in his world, all the DC characters were comic book characters. And so he's a nerd, just like us. He's read their entire history. He knows their entire lives. When he came to this world, they're all real, and he knows all about them. So he's constantly breaking the fourth wall and talking about comic book things. The first thing he does here is go, "Hey, reader, so KO was a lot, right?" Don't worry. We're just going to tell some fun stories. We're going to beat up some supervillains, and I'm going to try and win you over. You on board? Let's go. It's like, God damn it, Williamson. Yes, that is how you start this comic book. We immediately jump into massive action, as only Dan Mora can draw it, complete with a page of Superboy punching Ignition, you know, beloved Superman villain Ignition.
Yeah, a deep cut from the Emperor Joker storyline.
Yeah, I believe Ed McGuinness created Ignition.
Ed McGuinness and Joe Kelly created Ignition.
Hence the very 90s design of Ignition. I think Ignition looks kick-ass, but...
Well, Ignition looks fucking awesome. I could not tell you a single thing about him.
Yeah. Maher spends her entire lettering budget on this first page with a crack, thoom, slam, thoom, pow. And it just works to show how fast this fight is taking place. The book looks amazing. We immediately jump to Mr. Terrific talking to Lois. She's no longer Superwoman. And Terrific's like, so we got to talk about Superboy Prime. He can't live here on the Watchtower.
He's a psychopath. What are you thinking?
Yeah, sort of like I get that Superman is saying we got to give him a chance. He's redeemed himself. But guess what? Superman forgives everybody. So
all of the other heroes on this space station remember him ripping the Teen Titans limbs off.
And it's really good writing for Williamson.
He beat the Golden Age Superman to death.
Right. To be like, of course Superman forgave him. Superman's the nicest dude in the world. I get it, but not everybody else trusts this dude.
Yeah.
So we got to figure out what to do with him. And so Lois is like, we'll take him to Metropolis. What else are you going to do? And she's like, you got to get a job, kid. Come on, come work at the Daily Planet. And he's like, we can't do that. I look just like young Clark Kent. You know? Right. Because of course, this Superboy Prime understands in the comics, and everybody should know who Superman is. It's just Clark Kent in glasses. Right?
Here's the thing, though, about Superboy Prime. His name is Clark Kent, but his parents named him that as a tongue-in-cheek joke.
Right.
He's not an actual duplicate of Clark Kent from another Earth.
No.
He just happens to look like Superboy.
Yeah. It's just great. So, of course, Prime gets himself a job at a comic shop.
Love it.
It's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. There's this wonderful homage page where he's trying to figure out like what he's going to do. And he's like, I'll just be a superhero. I'll be a superhero. And when I need money, I'll go find treasure, or whatever. And Lois is like, is that what Superman would do? And he's like, yeah, I'm kind of trying to be a good guy, aren't I? And he pictures all the old Superman comics that he read, and you will recognize
my favorite page
every
of
single
the
one of
entire
these.
week.
Yeah, you'll recognize every single one of these covers, but instead of Superman, it's swapped out with Superboy Prime, like complete with like him rescuing a cat out of the tree in the Golden Age, and the Jim Lee Superman, the
80s, the Justice League #1 from Kevin Maguire.
Oh, it's great.
It's so great. Yeah.
And he sets out to be a hero, and you know why he wants to do it? Because he wants to get his own #1 issue. Superboy Prime #1. And we're not giving it to him here. Sorry. This is Superman 879, bro. But the book is just fun. This is like vintage 90s, 2000s beat 'em up superhero action with incredible art by Dan Mora. And Prime is the perfect character for these creators to play with Superman storytelling. First of all, it's going to be very tongue-in-cheek. It's going to break a bunch of fourth wall stuff. So much so that they even fuck with the art and the story on one page. I'm not going to tell you how because it's brilliant. But you can see they are going to have so much fun telling these stories, and I am completely on board for a character I don't give a shit about. They've got me so excited for this. This is a buy it. This book is great.
Yeah. Yeah. In like 2 years, I have gone from loathing Superboy Prime to absolutely loving this character.
Oh, great last page, too. I love this.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Yes. So cool. And the thing that I love the most about this is that Williamson has not forgotten anything. We are not retconning his dark past. We are not forgetting that he killed a bunch of people.
No, he's got to earn
or that
it.
he spent however much time trapped in a science cell on Oa. Like, we're not throwing away anything. He's got a fucking brand of the Superman S that he burned into his own chest.
Yeah, he's got to earn it. We're not retconning any of this shit.
It's still there, and the characters are like Vixen is like, that kid is a psycho. And so we're not throwing it away. He's on a true redemption arc. And the question now is, will the villain of the piece let that happen? And I'm very, very excited about this. I would have liked there to have been a little bit more follow-up about the Ma and Pa Kent thing from the end of the last one. It goes from Lois introducing him to the Kents and then the Kents are nowhere to be found.
I'm sure we'll touch on that. I mean, they're going to.
I'm sure that we will, but it just seemed odd to me. But yeah, no, this book is top to bottom, fantastic, beautiful art, great story, huge buy it. If you guys aren't reading Superman, you are dumb. There, I said it.
I hope you didn't hurt anybody's feelings with that one. That was
hey, controversial.
pretty hard.
Get on board, dummies. Our final review of the week goes to The Flash 31. It's also from DC Comics. It's written by Ryan North with art by Gavin Guidry, colors by Adriano Lucas. That guy is doing overtime this week on DC Books. Letters are by Buddy Bodan.
This is your
cover
legacy
by Guidry.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say this is your legacy Flash 831. If you're keeping
thank you. I
Yes.
forgot to.
Yes.
I forgot to.
Don't forget the legacy.
Get that. That's not in the solicit for some reason. It's got a cover by Guidry and Giovanna Nero. So different colors on the cover, but it's a great cover. It's 32 pages for $3.99. Here's your solicit. Wally West, father, husband, and fastest man alive. And now with DCKO in the rearview mirror, Wally can finally relax and live his best life. Or can he? Because an awful lot of people are suddenly relying on the Flash to save them and intentionally putting themselves in danger to ensure that he does. Something sinister is happening behind the scenes, and Wally is right in the crosshairs. Also in this issue, shenanigans, science, and the debut of an all-new all-star creative team for the Scarlet Speedster. Every line of that solicit is 100% accurate. This issue is like a shot in the arm, reinvigorating the series after Spurrier's lengthy run, and let's be honest with one another, very challenging run, and the disastrous DCKO tie-in arc. If you need to hear more about that, feel free to check out any of our DCKO coverage. North brings things back to Wally West, family man. Now, your mileage, and by your, I mean Matt's, mileage is going to vary on this, but I love it. I think that now that they're a little bit older, the kids are a lot more fun to read about, and I don't mind that they're around. When they were little, yeah, no thanks. I didn't care. North nails the traditional Wally voiceover. If you are at all familiar with the legendary run by Mark Waid, Jeff Johns continued the tradition. Every issue, the intro of every issue had some variation of "My name is Wally West and I'm the fastest man alive." We got it back here in this issue. North nails that. Wally is kind of a well-meaning doofus, which is kind of fun. You know, he's good at his job, but he's not winning any prizes at the science fair. This guy is not Barry Allen.
Did he seem a little more doofy than usual?
Maybe a little, but past Wally, in the past, Wally has always been sort of immature.
I guess. I haven't read Wally like this in a while, and part of me was like,
it's been a long time since we've had this sort of like prototypical Wally.
Yeah, North is leaning into it, definitely.
Right. You know, so this guy, you know, Wally is not Barry. He doesn't know a bunch of science stuff, so he's going to make some mistakes.
Sure.
The dialogue is genuinely funny. There's this scene where a tornado pops up because Tar Pit got his hands on a weather wizard wand and he accidentally summoned a tornado. He got it at the Rogues garage sale.
Yard sale. It was the annual Rogue yard sale.
Yard sale, which is funny on its own. And then Tar Pit asks this very oddly specific question about how Wally's going to stop the tornado. Like, are you going to run backwards at speeds exceeding X miles an hour, thus reducing the whatever? It's very funny. A fan asks him to say "Grod" while taking a selfie, and his response is, "I will not." There's a page of want ads. We're supposed to dial in on one want ad for the purposes of the story, but North has written all of the other want ads, and every single one of them is fucking hysterical.
Yeah, like what kind of name is Eobard Thawne? I think it's a stupid name, and I don't care who knows it. Hey, Eobard, you disagree? Why not come back in time and stop me from posting this classified ad? Yeah, that's what I thought. Ha!
It's so good.
Batman kicked my butt.
Yeah. The actual plot, you know, is interesting. There's this like a Twitch streamer sort of guy or an online influencer. He's trying to monetize Wally's rescues by convincing people to throw themselves off buildings and shit. Of course, there is a mysterious puppet master. So we'll see what's going on there. The art. I adored Gavin Guidry's art here. I didn't know just how much I was missing Wally's classic look until now. The Flash costume, in my mind, the most perfect superhero costume ever created is the Spider-Man red and blue costume. Number 2, by a narrow margin, is the red and yellow Flash costume.
Number 3, D-Man. Everyone agrees with
Number
this.
3, D-Man. Yeah, right. Obviously. Guidry's redesigns that subtly, and it's a perfect way to kind of refresh that look without giving us a complete departure that just doesn't work, like that fucking black and red monstrosity he'd been wearing for the last year or two.
Too much. Just too much.
So ugly. Guidry doesn't give us a bunch of flashy computer effects to cover up any storytelling flaws. It's just classically rendered super heroics with charm out the wazoo. It's very much in the vein of a Chris Somney or a Doc Shaner. It's right there alongside those guys. In one issue, The Flash feels more like The Flash than it has in literally years. North and Guidry, they have got a solid handle on Wally and his family. We've got a return to form complete with a few Flash facts. Despite what I said about Wally being sort of a dunce, The Flash 31, it was everything I was hoping it would be. It's a huge buy it for me.
It's definitely a very jump to a very classic feel. I agree. But North does a really nice job with telling a very modern story in a classic feel, right? You're playing in social media.
Right.
And
it feels timeless,
yeah.
You know, but not dated.
I really like Guidry's art. I think Guidry's great. I do think he has some trouble making the Flash look fast at times.
I think there's a couple of panels where the speed effects look a little like.
I need the Flash to look fast, and say what you will about we made fun of some of the manga stuff from the last artist. He made the Flash look very fast. Like no, I think
he does a good job for most of the book, but there are some panels where he's great. A little short.
I'm not complaining about the art at all. That's just a thing. Like when I come to the Flash, I need the new artist to make the Flash look fucking fast. That is job one, right? I'm giving this a buy. I very much enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. It is definitely a doofier Wally than I was used to, but the Flash has been too serious for too long. Way too serious for too long. I'm just glad we got rid of those hacks, Mark Waid and Christopher Cantwell. I'm glad they're gone. I hope they never work in comics again. Again, we love you guys. This is a buy it.
That is it for reviews, but these were not the only comics we read in the last 2 weeks. It's time for the Ludicrous Speed Reads, where we cram in everything else we read. For the most part.
Go!
Start off with Lobo, number 1. I don't know if you heard, but there's a movie coming that he's going to be in. So, of course, it's time for new Lobo series. It's written by Scotty Young with art by Jorge Corona. I don't think there is anyone else in the world that you could slot in to draw Lobo better than Jorge Corona. It's like the dude was born to draw this comic book. The book looks amazing. Scotty Young does an incredible job writing Lobo. With that said, I don't need to read a bunch of this. I just don't. It's silly and it's fun and it looks amazing. But unless you love Lobo and you love this wackadoo sort of Warner Brothers, cartoon style comic booking, it just gets old fast for me. I'm giving this a buy it. It's an incredible book. I don't know how much more I'm going to read.
Somebody, yeah. I just don't know if it's always going to be for
And that's a Lobo thing. You are doing Lobo correctly. It's just not my thing.
This is the sort of book that I would read just because I love the artist so much, right? Because I don't really care much about the character. I read Catwoman 85 from DC. That's right. Every single book I read for this show is DC Next Level, baby. This is written by Torin Gronbeck with art by David Jean-Felice and Patricio Del Pesce, or Del Pesce. This great stuff. Selina's back in Gotham after a long absence. We get a new status quo. We get a new mission. We got old enemies around every corner. It might help a little if you've been following the title, but I haven't been, and I wasn't really lost at all. The art by Jean-Felice is excellent. Big time Rick Leonardi vibes. I love that. It's sketchy and stylized. It's beautiful. This is a buy it. Catwoman is good.
I've been following Gronbeck's Catwoman. It's very good. Yeah.
It's exceptional. Yeah.
For our first book that didn't come from DC, it's Leonide the Vampire from Dark Horse, written by Mike Mignola with art by Rochelle Aragano. Yeah, Aragno. This is part of the Curious Items imprint, which is sort of like
Curious
Objects imprint, which is all ties into the new universe that Mike Mignola is building that came out of like Bowling for Corpses and whatnot.
No. Remember, I did all this math. Curious Objects is just Mike Mignola's shingle at Dark Horse. So it's like not every Matt Kent book is a Flux House book.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
This is just his imprint. And it's really nice looking. I love the art by Aragno. The story is a little odd, and it's going to be one of those things that, again, I think probably reads better when you read 4 issues of it than when you read 1. Because I'm trying to get into the story, and there's definite mysterious stuff going on here with the character, the little girl, the main character who knows more than they're leading on. I like this. I need more before I can say it's a hardcore buy it and give it a strong skim.
Is this a character that has been around for a while? Because I swear to God, that name sounds familiar.
There was 2 one-shots before this in 2022. Leonide the Vampire, A Miracle at Crow's Head, and Leonide the Vampire, A Christmas for Crows. So there you go. Telling more of the story.
Right. Next up for me, Superman Unlimited number 11 from DC, written by Dan Slott with art by Lucas Mayer and Giuliano Paratelli. This is another story in the Reign of the Superboys theme, I guess. Reign of the Superboys is not really one storyline. It's almost sort of like a mini imprint. It starts here with John Kent trying to fill the shoes of his missing daddy while battling an old arch nemesis that he's never even met before. Trust me, it makes sense if you read the comic. Slott is definitely fueling the rumors that 10-year-old John is going to return somehow. He might be setting up a way that we can have our cake and eat it too by having 2 versions. I don't know. The art by Meyer and Paratelli is outstanding. Look, this is a buy it. This is a fun comic.
Next up for me was another non-DC book, Honor and Curse, Eternal, #1 from Mad Cave, written by Mark London with art by Jamie Infante. It's a fun, cursed hero story about a ninja possessed by a demon. There is no way they're not going to hear a lot of, wow, this reminds me of Moon Knight type stuff, because it's like multiple voices in your head, and the demon has a bird skull head. And stuff
Sure,
like
right? Yeah.
But it's really well told. There's a lot of John Wick here. It starts in feudal Japan. It jumps 600 years into the present, where the main character, I don't know if he's a hero or not, but the main character has locked the demon in a cage in his brain and only lets it out a little bit when he has to do his ninja business. The book looks great. The story is very interesting. I'm giving this a buy it. Mad Cave. They put out good comics, folks.
I tell you what. And finally, we are wrapping it up with Harley Quinn number 60 from DC. This is written by Elliot Kalin with art by Carlos Olivares and Marissa Louise. And you know what? This was fun. Harley is back from the KO tournament full of Omega energy, whatever the hell that means. And she's the only one in any of these books talking about it. Except for maybe the Justice League book. I don't even think she knows what it means. But she's taking it as a cue to make a serious go at heroing. She narrates the entire issue like Batman from The Dark Knight Returns, and it is kind of hilarious. The art is fucking weird, and I kind of love it. It wasn't quite as new reader friendly as some of the other next level books. Not too bad. I don't know if I'll keep going. It's like how Matt feels about Lobo. It's good. And if you like Harley Quinn, you're going to enjoy this. If you are not really interested in Harley Quinn, I'm not really sure if there's enough here to keep you interested. But I definitely liked this more than I was prepared to, and so I'm giving it a strong skim it.
There's a formula for Harley, right? Just like Lobo. There's a formula. You do the thing. And if you like that formula, you'll like the thing.
I mean, yeah, kind of, yeah.
I'm not saying it can't be done wrong.
Of course, yeah. I've read lots of comics where people do the formula wrong. That is it for our new comic reviews, but now it's your turn. Head to our Discord and join in the new comic talk. We've got channels and threads where we talk all about them. And then hit us up at this weekend's Gang Hang, where you can shout us down on our YouTube exclusive show.
It's time to head to the THN Sanctum Sanctorum to make our must-read comic picks for next Wednesday, April 1st. Joe Patrick. If these April Fools are only buying one comic next week, what is it going to be?
Matt and I briefly considered doing joke picks for April Fool's Day and ended up feeling a little bit mean-spirited. So we are being sincere here. My pick is actually Daredevil #1 from Marvel Comics. It's written by Stephanie Phillips with art by Lee Garbett. It's 32 pages for $5.99. $6. Like, goddamn, Marvel. 32 pages for $5.99. Regardless, I've been missing a regular dose of Daredevil every month. I'm very impressed with Stephanie Phillips as a writer, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do with poor old Matt Murdock. Plus, I have loved Lee Garbett's work forever, so I think having him on the art is icing on the cake. I've been excited for this one for a long time. $6 though.
32 pages for $6. Fuck you guys. What are you doing? We just
outrageous.
talked about 56 pages for $6. That's something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's almost like they think we're just going to like turn off the first episode of Born Again and run to the comic shop and not even notice how much money I threw down.
It's true.
My pick for next week is Kilroy is Here, #1 from Image Comics, written by Joe Pruitt with art by Dalibor Talajic.
Love that guy.
Dalibor Talajic, who is great. 32 pages for $4.99. I picked this because I was really curious about Kilroy back in the day. Styx had a whole record about it. Kilroy was here. It's a World War II thing.
It's a graffiti, right? A very famous like graffiti style.
Yeah, it's like a World War II thing that says American troops had been there and they had taken care of business or whatever, right? It later on, that Kilroy character has popped up in several different fictional places as sort of this eternal soldier type thing. And Pruitt is taking it in a horror direction because Pruitt writes brutal horror comics. I have been loving his horror output. I love Talajic, and the art for this looks really good.
Didn't Pruitt write that Viking werewolf comic?
Yes, and it was fan-fucking-tastic.
Hell yeah, it was.
Excelsior! Oh.
That is it for THN 808. If you dig our new comic show, check out our YouTube channel. We put up pictures of the new comics we're talking about, along with panels of the pages and stuff, too. It's awesome. You can like and subscribe there, but also give us a star or review wherever you download podcasts. We are audio first. We have been for a long time. Trying to get into video, it's not friggin' easy.
Next week, the Back Issue Show returns, and we are celebrating the return of Simon Williams, a.k.a. Wonder Man, to modern Marvel Comics by looking at his past in an episode we're calling Who the Hell is Wonder Man?
Then we'll review the new Wonder Man from Jerry Duggan the following week. Look at us. Serendipity.
Synergizing. Look at us.
THN is a listener-supported podcast. It wouldn't be possible without the generosity of donors like our patron, James Kaplan Esquire. And if I am correct, Esquire means he was a felon, but he's paid his dues to society.
Right. I think that's accurate.
I'm pretty sure. If you support the show like James, you can hear this week's Extra, where we are looking at DC Next Level and some of the other publishing initiatives from both Marvel and DC, how they stacked up in the past, and where this one stacks up. Check it out. It's going to cost you $1. Don't be a jerk. Come on.
Yeah, thanks, James.
You can sign up to be a patron at patreon.com/2headednerd. Do it before we figure out this should cost $15 a month.
Before we go, our weekly shout out goes to Sam Keith, artist and creator of The Max, artist on The Incredible Hulk, Wolverine, and much, much more. We lost Mr. Keith last Saturday at the age of 63. If you know Keith's work, then you know he was a force of nature with his pencils that had an instantly recognizable style that defies description. Borrowing the words of the great Phil Lester here, who had an incredible post remembering the artist, quote, Sam Keith did not bend for comics. Comics bent to him. I won't call his manner of drawing merely a style because that implies some level of artifice. Maybe not since Kirby had mainstream comics seen an artist with less filler between his imagination and the printed page.
God damn, Phil. God damn. Where do you two,
I think that guy's got a future in this business.
Until next time, true believers, remember to pre-order your comics, or your retailer might tell all the other nerds they remember a time when you preferred Dale Keown's Pit to Sam Keith's Max. This is a two-headed nerd.
What are you, some kind of nerd?
Signing off. It was a different time. I was too young. I didn't understand. Was he homeless? Was he actually a hero? I couldn't figure out what was going on.
I mean, was he endangering that kid's life? I don't get it.
No.